everyone. I'm Karen Connolly from the Board of Selectmen. It is Monday, August 24th, and we're here with the COVID update. Before we get into that, I would like to remind everyone that the state primary is coming up September 1st. Voting in person will be at the high school from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. But you can also vote early by coming to Town Hall this week. You can come Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8:30 to 4:45, Tuesday from 8:30 to 6 p.m., and Friday from 8:30 to noon. So reminder that there are many ways to vote, and if you mailed in your ballot, there's a nice little application on the Secretary of State's website called Track My Ballot, and you can find out if your ballot has been received, if you've already put it in the mail. I'm here today with Jim Boudreau, our town administrator, Bill Burkhead, the superintendent of schools, and Peter Gates, the chairman of the school committee. Jim will cover, in addition to his normal COVID update, the Egypt Beach berm project. We've been hearing a lot from citizens over the past week about the project, and I know that Jim has been working through the weekend to try to come to a resolution on that. And finally, I'd like to say that next week the selectmen meeting will be held using Zoom, and you'll be getting more information about that as we move forward. So I'd like to turn it over to Jim.
So obviously we always start with the COVID update. Report last week we had no additional cases. This past week we've had 3 cases in Scituate. 2 were at the same address. The third was a positive that was traced to a positive in Hingham, so those are all known cases. But just it shows that the virus is still around. People still need to be vigilant. The statewide infection rate is still below 2%, which is good. But in order to make all this good work last, people are going to have to continue to wear their masks, continue to social distance, continue to wash their hands, and be vigilant about what's going on. As everybody knows, we are in a total outdoor water ban with the exception of handheld cans. No car washing, no filling of pools, no watering of lawns with irrigation systems or lawn sprinklers. Watering of flowers, plants, and lawns, again, by hand watering only between 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. It's a $100 fine. Last week we issued 22 fines for violation of the water ban. The reservoir is currently at 39%. The rain last week was about 1.23 inches that we recorded at the treatment plant. It's not going to really have any material impact on the reservoir. It should drive down our usage a little bit with people not watering. The average weekly for the water through the treatment plant was at 728,286 gallons per day. That's down about 250,000 from the previous week, so that's good. We do need to conserve. The state is in a drought as declared by the Commonwealth. All the towns around us have water bans. We have activated well 17A, even though we're constructing the green sand filter. We're putting about 350,000 gallons a day into the reservoir. That cold water going into the reservoir has significantly lowered the manganese levels going through the treatment plant. So the brown water that we've been experiencing seems to have dissipated. We have finished the process to add the chemical to take the manganese out. We are still waiting at this point for DEP to approve that. But the cold water that's going in from 17A is changing that chemical of the plant, chemicals in the reservoir, so that's good, and we'll continue to monitor that. Bailey's Culvert and Gilson Road Culvert are done. They're installed. They're back open, ready to go. Unfortunately, Gilson will have to have additional work by the gas company. The gas company did not complete their work in a timely manner, so they will be back out there sometime in the near future to finish that. But Gilson Road and Bailey's Causeway are open. As you mentioned, Karen, the reconstruction of the berm project at Egypt Beach has been paused. The Musquashkett berm, we're continuing the work there and hoping to finish that up this week. The Egypt Beach portion has been paused for several days. The town's consulting engineer will be conducting a review of the completed portion of the project to ensure compliance with project specifications. At the same time, the town will be reviewing the design for the Egypt Beach portion of the project to ensure that the design specifications will not change the look or accessibility of Egypt Beach while still achieving the goal of the project to stabilize and strengthen the berm against coastal storms. The final design must be protective of both public safety and public access. We hope to have the engineer in today or tomorrow to look at that and make sure. Again, we had changed the design so that when you see it, Musquashkett, where those cobblestones are on top of the berm, on Egypt Beach, those cobblestones will be buried into the berm and then the cobble covering them back over. And down at Musquashkett, it's 4 to 5 feet of stone. At Egypt Beach, it's 18 to 24 inches of stone. So the profile of the beach will not even change that much either. But we'll have the engineering this week, and we'll go over that, and we'll let people know where that stands as soon as we have an update. Good news, the athletic field project is nearing completion. It is scheduled for substantial completion next week. The stadium field, the track, and the baseball fields have been turned over. The softball field is essentially complete. We're waiting for final inspection on that. The lines for the fall sports have been added to the baseball field. I believe that's soccer and field hockey have been painted on there, so that's multi-purpose. The bleachers are complete with the exception of the softball bleachers. The lacrosse wall turf is expected to be installed this week. So again, we're expecting substantial completion next week and have the contractor turn most of the facility over to us. He will be required to return later this fall for some seeding and repair work on the grass, as that has not come in because of the drought and the lack of water. That's what I have for this week.
Thank you, Jim. I'd like to turn it over to Peter Gates.
Great, thank you. My name is Peter Gates. I'm the chair of the school committee. I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Burke. He's going to give some further updates. Just briefly, we've continued to see great participation in our weekly school committee meetings that we're holding via Zoom. Our numbers are probably averaging about 300 per week, so we would expect that to continue as folks are looking for information and so on. Our leadership team at the school has obviously been working hard and diligently over the past, probably 6 to 8 weeks, and they continue to do great work. In terms of school committee, we are trying to continue our, consistent improvement and learning more about how we can best serve the community. We will be having a workshop this Wednesday, sponsored by Massachusetts Association of School Committees. They will be providing an update on the superintendent evaluation process, which is one of our primary goals as a school committee, is to evaluate the work of our superintendent. Obviously, a difficult time to begin that work, but something that we need to do, and Superintendent Burkett is well aware of the necessity to do that. So we'll be holding that Wednesday. That will not be a public session. It will just be for school committee members. We also have a school committee meeting tonight, 6 p.m. via Zoom, and you should see that on the school district's website or via Peach Jar if you have a student in the district. With that, I'll hand it over to Superintendent Burkhead.
Thank you, Chairman Gates. So a quick overview of our reopening plans. This past Tuesday, our central office leadership team, principals, assistant principals, athletic director, department coordinators, and chairpersons met for 2 full days for our annual summer retreat, and we worked on our reopening plan as a primary focus. Included in our work was adding specific details to our hybrid and our fully remote plans. I'm extremely pleased with the work that we hope to finish, and the final day of the retreat is tomorrow. We will be sharing those revised models with the community as soon as they're finished this week, hopefully as early as Wednesday. The phases, just for to give you an idea of what we look to do as an objective, the phases would emphasize that our great Scituate Public Schools educators work directly with our students and families. That was a high priority that many community members and parents felt. Social emotional learning, connecting students with cohorts, maintaining flexibility in our ability to transition from phase to phase as necessary, and to provide the highest quality education. So I think the work we've done will reflect all that, and I think people will be very pleased with the models that we've been able to finish up on. Our educators return to work next week, and we're excited to see them. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has included 10 professional development days for our educators to prepare for our students' arrival on September 16th. And our retreat work also focused on preparing the outline of our professional development work, which we'll share with our educators this week. We'll be getting details out to our families on what the first days of school will look like. If you have specific questions regarding the return to school, please reach out to your building principal. Our school committee voted to support a hybrid model to start the school year on September 16th. Families, however, will have a choice to educate their child remotely. Our complete reopening model is available on our website homepage at scituate.k12.ma.us. And finally, last week our families completed a survey. The main question asked, based on the plan approved by the school committee, which was hybrid, which learning option will your student be enrolling in for the fall of 2020 school year? And the responses included 91.8% choosing hybrid, which is a 7% increase over our initial survey. 6.6% of families chose fully remote, and 1.6 chose other, which may include homeschool or attending private schools. We look forward to discussing this information and more at tonight's school committee meeting at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Peter. I guess it goes without saying that we're in difficult times, and I know we all appreciate the work that our town administrator and his staff are doing on a regular basis, and the school committee and the superintendent as well. And I'd like to point out that a lot of boards and committees in towns have been working very hard to try to keep business moving along. It's not easy, but we appreciate all of those boards and committees for all the work they do as well. Hope everyone has a great day and enjoy the rest of the summer as we have it.